All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to View Magazine. My name is Adrena Martin, and we have Miss Yamara McCartney Ross.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm Laura McCartney Ross here with View Magazine today.
yes. And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Miss Claudienne Hibbert-Smith. What's going on, Claudienne?
Listen, I'm just so excited. I'm pumped. Let me tell you, I've got 2 more weeks before I deliver this baby girl, and I've been on fire. Just finished a huge launch meeting over at the Grant Cardone building, and now I'm here with you guys. And so it's just been an amazing Valentine's Day, might I add. And so happened. Let me tell you, I put on this dress because it fit, right? But it was like perfect for the occasion. It's Valentine's Day. So I want to tell y'all happy Valentine's Day as well.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Happy Valentine's
you.
Day.
Yes. Well, look, I'm excited to go ahead and get to it. So, we know you're a serial entrepreneur, you're a real estate agent, you're in the health and wellness industry as well. But give us a little bit of the background of Claudienne Hibbert.
Where do I start? So let me just tell you, how did I even get into real estate? At the age of 14, I gave birth to my first son. And I remember just struggling. I was on Section 8. Nope, I wasn't on Section 8. I'm making that up. I had Medicaid, I had food stamps, I had everything. I had my WIC stamps. And I remember just struggling, but I was able to graduate at the top of my class at Carroll City Senior High, right here in Miami. And then I moved on and went on to the University of Florida. Go Gators. Jump, jump, jump. Had to add that in. And then I graduated at the top of that class too. I left my son home with my mom because I could see the greater vision. And so I took a little bit of a sacrifice. It wasn't a little bit, it was a lot. It was a lot to sacrifice to leave and depart from my son for 4 years. And now I would see him on occasions because I would travel back and forth home. And then I graduated from the University of Florida and got what I call a job job, right? Just over broke. I was making money and paying bills like that were due 3 months prior to. So most people work from paycheck to paycheck. I was working paycheck to pay bills 3 months behind. And so, they say who you're around is very important. And for me, that was very instrumental because my seventh grade teacher who took me in before I gave birth, her and I grew a very strong relationship. She was like a mom to me. And I remember when she bought a house, I was on that journey with her. And I remember the realtor making about $40,000 in 45 days. And I said, I know how to count and add, but something is not adding up. It takes me a whole year to make $40,000. And I have to dress a certain way, put on a certain outfit for work, and be told what to do. I said, this is something ain't adding right. One and one only equal two. And so when I realized I had the formula wrong, I literally picked up the phone and called my employer. And I wouldn't recommend anybody do this. I didn't have any job advocacy at the time. And I just quit. I just didn't go back. I didn't even know how to get my real estate license. I just knew that I would get my real estate license. And what happened was I went now to discover how to do it. So I'm discovering how to get my license, and I realized I don't have to go back to school. I don't have to go back to college. I was willing, but I didn't have to go back. I only needed 63 hours. So I was able to do it within a week. Believe it or not. You see what happens when you take risks? Things kind of work out in your favor. I ended up getting my license, and voila, here I am 21 years later, a real estate professional on top of the market here in South Florida. I stayed 120 years with one company, was always the top producer out of about 3,500 to 4,000 agents, which is a very, very big deal in a white male dominated market at the time. And women now dominate the market, but at that time 20 years ago it was white male dominated. And I was just so focused. I had hustle. I didn't have a lot of skill yet, but I had hustle and I had heart. And I just went to work. I went to work and I went to work, and I'm here today. Moving forward 20 years, I moved to a different company and partnered with Elena Cardone and Grant Cardone and EXP Realty, and my life has just changed just that much. So I was doing really good. I went from good to great, but sometimes great can become good again once you get complacent. And I found myself just saying, I'm going to retire. I've spent enough time in real estate. I bought my first duplex when I was 21, and it didn't stop there. I continued to make purchases throughout the 20-year process of me being a realtor. And I realized I just needed a change. I needed to grow. And I partnered with EXP Realty, and here I am before you today. And that's my real estate journey. My health and wellness journey is very simple. Total Life Changes provided me with products to get my body back right, that helped me get my mental right. I detoxed my body. Um, so just so that you know, so at 14, I gave birth. My son's now 27. And then I gave birth again at the age of 40, and I'm pregnant now at the age of 42. And so, talk about getting your body right. My husband was just like tapping on my little window, right? And I'm just like, I didn't have any desire to have any more children, but I'm glad that I have them because I'm in a different state, a different place, mentally, financially, spiritually. And I know that we're going to impact our children both across the board. One thing you didn't mention, but I do want to mention this, and it's funny because I'm always on the whiteboard, and I always say, I always wanted to be a school teacher, but when they told me my starting pay would be $36,000, I changed my major, and I said that's not going to work, and so I changed my major. But now we own an all boys school from K to 12, so I'm excited about that too.
Wow, we definitely gonna get
a lot, huh?
What'd you say?
That was a lot.
No, but look, it's all a part of your journey and what made you, the person you are today. And I think it's something important that, people can definitely get out of this. Like you said that you really took a risk. You had your job and you literally just got on the phone one day and you said, look, you had no plan, but it's like you took that risk on yourself. Like you say, you don't advise people to don't just everybody just get on the phone and quit your job. But I mean, sometimes when you feel it, you just have to take that risk on yourself. So, I mean, that's amazing. And I mean, it paid off. So
Yes,
it paid off. So definitely. So, I know Yamara has definitely a lot of, few questions she wants to ask you. So go ahead, Yamara.
So just with you, like having all your experiences and growing all in Florida, just with your real estate business, we do know that that's where you're primarily based right now, but it is said that you're going to be going global this year. So could you tell us what this expansion will look like?
Wow. So I've already expanded what I've been able to do in three months, 90 days, what I've not been able to do in 20 years, and that's to expand globally. My company provides me an outlet to grow my real estate team and business throughout 23 countries, the US obviously being one of them. And so right now I'm in 16 states and 2 countries getting ready to launch the Dominican Republic. And so when we say we're going global, we mean we are going global.
Also, they don't need that iPad.
Yes, definitely. That's so amazing. And we also know you have like a high social media presence with like so many followers. Like, could you tell us like what your life is outside of social media? Because I know sometimes that can be either overwhelming and you might just need a break sometimes. So what is your everyday routine outside of your work life?
So let me just tell you, my everyday routine is very simple. Yes, I was just running up the hill just on Saturday, and I've only got 2 weeks left of my pregnancy. I box, I work out, not on a daily basis right now, but every other day or so, I do work out. I do take my vitamins, my NutriBurst, my detox tea to keep me in shape. I am 42, and I have no dreams or hopes of looking like Auntie. Okay. And so I've gained less than 20 pounds during this pregnancy. I'm doing about 2 weeks or any day now. I'm full term. So I'm excited about that. One thing I do want to mention that we do practice and do in the mornings, and that's with my husband and my children, is that we meditate, pray, and affirm every morning. We don't miss a beat. And I believe that it's the kickstart and the jump start of our day. And I want to repeat that: meditation, prayer, and affirmation. We affirm every day. Right about noon, we do the same thing again. Our phones buzz, ding, 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 and we take a few minutes to just pay homage and just say thank you, no matter if we're in a good mood or bad mood. And even sometimes when you're in a good mood, you still need to reset so you can go from good to great. And so those are some of the practices that I do on a daily basis that starts our day. And then we go into our routine of, my husband runs a school, and so he does his thing over there. We got a huge graduating class this year, so we're excited about that. That has already taken place. They graduated early. And so we're excited about that. And I go into my real estate day. And that could be me going on social media. That could be me making appointments. Today, I did a huge opportunity meeting for people to join our organization, which is very huge. Um, and that's kind of sort of what we do.
Oh, wow. Well, that's really good. And of course, prayer and meditation is just very big. Just to start your day off, keeping God first is very important. And, if you keep God first, then everything else will fall into place. So I definitely agree with that. But you also just mentioned about like having an opportunity call. Like, what are some ways somebody could, get into this field, or what advice do you have for someone that's already in this field, maybe struggling to see growth within their business?
You know what? I always say, when people speak with me, my number one thing is asking them what their goals are, because
Mhm.
our goals have to align. We have to be in some type of alignment, right? So, what are your goals? So they have to identify at least three of their goals. They got to know them, and if they don't know, they need to figure it out. And so, starting with goal setting, and once I listen to and hear what their goals are, I see how I can now help them. But I want to tell you this: I have so many people on my team right now, and I say team in my real estate empire, who have started maybe 12 months ago, didn't do any deals prior to coming over to partner with me. Gerline is a good example. Now she's on her 16th deal, and it's only been 6 months. I know people that's been realtors for 5 years that ain't did 3 deals. And so what we have is special. It's the training, it's the rev share. We'll talk about that another day. But commissions up to 100%, and training. And then the opportunity to have stock. But the training is key, because training is going to take you into the different segments
Mhm.
of the organization. I told you that in college I wanted to major in education. But because of the pay at the time, I switched my major. That's a true
Mhm.
story. And look at what God did. He gave us a whole school. How about that?
Right.
But the point is that I'm an educator by heart. And so I don't just bring people into the organization. We bring people into the organization and we train them to be great realtors. And I find that when we help people become homeowners and investors like myself, guess what? In turn, the law of reciprocity says we're going to be blessed, um, as well. And so that's kind of sort of what we do.
Mm. I definitely want to kind of, and I don't know how much you can say about it, but even partnering with Elena Cardone, because we all know Grant Cardone and the 10X family and everything. So, and that's huge. So, what else do you want people to know even about the partnership that you have with Elena?
It was very simple. And you know what? I knew that Elena Cardone was in the business, but like I said, in my mental, I was ready to retire. Well, Grant Cardone and his team called me and asked me to be on a panel of real estate professionals for a real estate boot camp. And without pause, I said yes. But they did not want somebody with EXP. They wanted a top producer with a different company to create some diversity on the panel. And I didn't know who would be on this panel, but when I looked, there were the owner of EXP, Tarek El Musa from HGTV was on there. Just know that these people had millions of followers and blue checks. And here I go, and if I could be transparent, I was a little excited because I said, listen, I am the representation of the culture.
Mhm.
I was the only black person on there, and not only that, I was female, so it was very special to me to know that I get to represent for my community. And so I took I said yes. And then I went back and I said, you know what is EXP all about? Let me just go and learn a little bit more. And then I, was able to connect with Elena Cardone, and we partnered, and we've been on fire ever since. And I'll tell you this, she is one of the number one growing organizations in EXP, and I'm number one in her entire organization for representing across the board, for the culture, for all the real estate culture. And so I'm very proud to say that. And I've expanded into 16 states and 2 countries, and adding one more country on it just as early as this week. And so that partnership has been amazing. Their 10X culture is amazing. The energy is transferable. I don't know how to explain it. It's like once you're in that energy, it's just like if you're not learning, you're dying. and definitely didn't want to die, obviously. And I don't mean physically, I mean mentally. You could be walking and still not be present. And so just being in the 10X family, honestly, just gave me a whole nother level of energy. See, I thought I had made it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I had made it, honey. I was gonna retire when I was 40. But when I saw what they were doing, I said, man, I have more work to do. I have more people to go and help. And so that was the mindset. And then I wanted to know, how could I help her? See, these are billionaires we're talking about. I couldn't get them buildings. I said, what is it that I can help you do to get your goals? And see, if you understand the law of reciprocity, you know when you help others, in turn, you get help. So, you know what? I just did a big launch and they extended their entire office to me. And I'm very grateful and appreciative of that.
Wow. And for people who don't know what EXP is that a part of, is that a company under Elena Cardone?
No, so EXP Realty is a cloud-based real estate brokerage that we have partnered with. So Elena Cardone has partnered with them. I have partnered with them through Elena Cardone. And so if anybody wants to become a realtor or is already a realtor or a real estate broker, they definitely can come on. Listen, we have so many benefits where you can have ownership in the company. I mean, be a part of the fabulous training that they have, be a part of the rev share, and earn literally up to 100% of commissions.
Wow. And I want to ask you about something that you spoke on earlier. You said the word alignment, and a lot of people don't understand how important it is, like to really be out of alignment with the right things, and just different people in your life. So I want you to speak on that a little bit more about the importance of just being in alignment with the right things, people, places, and things.
The first part of being in alignment is knowing what your goals are. So there's no way to align with someone if you don't really even know where you need to be. So the first thing is that we have to figure out what we want. And then I believe that when you figure out what you want, the things that you want will be attracted to you. The things that you want will be attracted to you. See, I wanted a huge empire. I just didn't have the tools to do it. And so guess what? I attracted some energy. I believe I attracted the 10X family. I believe that based on me understanding what my goals were and what I wanted to do in the future, okay? Because just because I wanted to retire in sales doesn't mean that I wanted to leave real estate. I wanted to become a coach. I wanted to do seminars, and I've been exposed to so many things. And so alignment is important because you can get to where you're going quicker when you know what you want. The person understands what you want. You both have an understanding, and now guess what? You align, and magic happens. It's like magic, I should say. I don't know if magic is real, but it's like magic.
Wow, that's so powerful. And you just kind of talked about like knowing your goals and like attracting the right things. And everyone has just like a journey in life that they have to go on to get where they're supposed to be. So what is that one thing that you feel was your like highest influence or just biggest impact in your life that you knew from this point forward you were living your purpose?
You know, that time for me was in my teens. Somewhere in my teens, I knew that I was brought to this earth to do something. Now, I didn't know what it was. All I knew is that I wanted to make a lot of money to help a lot of people. And a lot of people are ashamed to talk about money, or they think, oh, you shouldn't focus on money. But if I was at my office, I would turn the lights off and you would see darkness. Because you know what? Florida Power and Light, which is our electric company here, when you don't pay the bill, the lights go off. When you don't pay the water, the water goes off. And then you got problems. You got to be lighting candles and opening up windows because it's hot. So money is important. And I knew that I needed to make a lot of money so that I could help a lot of people. And I don't ever leave that story out. Because one, I want people to know that money is important. Two, I wanted to help a lot of people. See, I feel good that when my high school needs my financial support, I'm able to write that check. And that was just last week. I feel good about it. It makes me feel good because when I was growing up, I didn't have that support all the time. And so if I could just duplicate that process myself and help others become financially stable so that we can continue to help and grow a community of people. That's, I mean, that's major for me.
Mm. Yeah,
Right.
I love it. And I want to go back to something too before we get into your school, but I want to ask you a social media question. Because we know how important social media is in this era when it comes to building a business. So how do you really leverage? Because it's a lot of people out there, they're on social media, but they haven't quite figured out how to leverage social media and make it work for them. So how have you been able to successfully do that for your brand?
For me, let me tell you, and I have trainings on this all the time. Use social media, don't let it use you. Use social media, do not let it use you. And so, yes, I'm heavy in social media because I realize that that's where the population of people go. If I do a survey of 100 people and ask them what they do first thing in the morning, guess what they're going to say? They're going to say they pick up their phone. Well, what do? You look at your emails, look at your phone log. What do you do? They're going to say we go to Instagram or we go to Facebook. And those are usually the top two. Those are usually the top two. So if I know that if I do a survey of 100 people and 90% of the people do exactly that, then what do I need to do? I need to get up a little bit earlier to get my meditation, prayer, and affirmations out of the way so that I can go in there and post, and not just post. I mean, post and then have a call to action. I talk a lot about call to actions. Well, what is a call to action, Claudienne? I'm just not on there flexing. One, I'm showing, well, I am a little bit, okay, but I am showing people and telling people what to do. Go and click the link in my bio if you want to join me at EXP Realty. Click the link in my bio if you'd like to join this training. Click the link in my bio if you want to become a buyer of Claudienne. Click the link in my bio if you are ready to sell your building or your home. And so if you look at my bio of my Instagram, even Facebook, there's always something that you can go to my link and do. You can even schedule a 15-minute free consultation with me. And so always having a call to action is going to promote sales, which is going to now be good use and valuable time of social media. And it doesn't mean that you can't go on there and have fun. Listen, I go on TikTok and I dance. I like to dance. Okay. I've been I don't want to say a dancer. I'm a private dancer. Dancer for money. No, not that kind of dancer, but I've always liked to dance. And so my son and I are 14 years apart, and we do a lot of stuff together. He's like, "Ma, you got to do some stuff on real estate." I said, "Do enough stuff on real estate. I just want to have fun." And you know what? People like that because people realize that I'm human too. I just don't
Right,
want to just be here and with my suit every day because that's not really my life.
right.
I want to get on here and have fun too. So you could do a combination of both. And I think even the fun promotes more business.
That's true because nowadays people they want transparency. Like you say, nowadays people they want to know that they kind of want to get in your business a little bit, but they don't want to always see the serious
Not a little
all
bit, girl. They
the time.
won't be in all your
Well,
business.
yeah.
And I give it to them.
Uh,
Okay.
but they want to feel like when they're especially when they're buying homes or whatever, it's like they want a relationship with them. They want to feel like they know the person that they're doing any type of business with. So that's important. That was good. Go ahead, Mara.
So just you touched on this earlier about just being black, also being women within this industry, but you were also 21 when you started out and you bought your first duplex in your 20s. So like what was just a big challenge that you had to either overcome or like what challenges did that bring being young and just a double minority within this field?
So I got to be honest with y'all. At the time, I didn't know that it was a white male dominated market. And I don't know if I knew it, if I would have really cared, to be honest. I have an innate ability to hustle. And if you tell me I can't, I'm going faster. So the minute you tell me I can't do something, I'm there. I'm like, okay, let me show you. And so I think either which way I would have succeeded. I don't really look at having a son at 14 as a roadblock. And I never really have. Um, One of my biggest challenges, I'm not really sure that I had any that I just really needed to overcome. Although I tell you what, you know what? It was me becoming skillful. I didn't have a lot of skill. And so, I don't know if you remember, you're still in college, so maybe you learned the psychology about the rat race. The not the rat race, the what was it in psychology where the rat just kept running around in the thing? I can't remember.
Oh, I think I kind of know what you're talking about, but I can't quite remember everything. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a wheel, and he just kept running in circles
Mhm.
because he was just running in a circle, right? And he was spinning his wheels. And I did that a lot. I didn't understand the power of personal development. Then I didn't understand the power of getting skilled at the time. So it took me about 3 years before I really got it, even though I was successful hustling. But can you imagine if I was doing $4 million worth of sales that could turn into $8 million sales because of a skill set? So
Mm,
although I was doing good, I needed to create systems and
mm,
understand how systems could work for me. And it wasn't that they weren't available. I just did not understand the importance of creating systems, the importance of going to get trained to be skillful, the
mm,
importance of organization. I remember taking Franklin Covey's class, earlier on in my career, and it taught me how to become organized, how not to use sticky pads and stick them all over the place because it was creating disorganization. And
Mhm.
so I remember scheduling my day, what was important. He talks about scheduling, A through D, a level of importance. Schedule all the difficult tasks first because those are the tasks that we run away from. And so for me, moving myself out of my own way was a big issue for me.
Right.
mm. That's you said something important there. You said you were good. You had to learn the skills because you were good at hustling, but really taking it to the next level. And I think that's one thing that really kind of keeps a lot of entrepreneurs stagnant. It's like they're good hustlers now. They know how to make a couple dollars, maybe even like that first maybe 1 or 2 million or whatever. But when it comes to really scaling and getting to the next level and building a team in those systems, I think that's the main thing that really trips a lot of entrepreneurs up, like those systems, because people don't
And I'm
understand
glad
how
you say
important.
that. I'm glad you're saying that because the other thing is too, I took too long to hire help. I took way too long to hire help. One, because I wanted to keep all my money to me,
Mm,
um, which was a selfish act. And I realized when I freed up my time, I just freed up more time to go make more money. And I was
exactly.
able to help people along the way. And so to have a payroll and to have people employed is a big benefit.
Mm,
It's impact that they get to learn from me. We've been together as a team for a very long time. And so that's another thing too that I took too long to do was to scale. You
mm,
said it to scale. And it
mm,
was mainly because I didn't think people could work as hard as me. But
Mhm.
sometimes you don't need people to work as hard as you. You just need people to fill in the spaces that you're not good at. And so
Mhm.
I hired my weaknesses. And that's how I hire. I hire whatever my weaknesses are. So I
mhm,
know I don't like to be organized and work on little stuff. So I hire the people that can be organized and work on my flyers, my banners, my posting, my marketing campaigns, my drip marketing campaigns, my marketing company, my PR company. Sometimes you look at the fees and you're like, wow, it's a lot, but you can't look at it from that perspective.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
releasing time so that I can go and be great so that I can continue to help people move and move in their businesses too.
mhm. And this could be like a whole nother conversation when it comes to, like you said, you thought that if you pay somebody, you wanted to keep all the money to yourself versus having that change of mindset. Like let me pay these people so I can free up my time and go make more money. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one there. But
It's
before we let
limited,
you
it's
go, we gotta
limited thought
oh,
belief. It's a limited thought belief. You
Mhm.
just don't believe you can go and create more. And I don't know what was that limited. I don't know where I got it from, but I got it. And I'm glad that I was able to release it earlier on in my career.
mm-hmm. That's a good one there. I do want to ask you if you could just tell us a little bit more. I know you mentioned the school earlier, but if you can just give us a little bit more details about the school and if people want to, send their kids to the school.
So my husband and I met about 13 years ago, and he had this idea of opening an all boys school, and so did I. Well, Claudienne, you're a woman. Why are you not opening up a all girls school? Well, I had a son who played basketball, and I watched him kind of struggle in the AAU market, and it was very political, and couldn't understand why are people so political with children.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what, when I get older and I can make a lot of money, I'm going to have my own team and my own school. And I'm going to support my team. I'm going to make sure they travel all over the country and they're not going to have to worry. And I meet my husband, and he has the same goal. Obviously, he wasn't my husband. Well, I guess he was mentally in the vortex somewhere. But we just got together, and eventually, he was a school teacher teaching history and a football coach. And he just took a risk about 4 or 5 years ago and said, it's time. And it took us about 3 years to open that school. But now, how many years? 7 years now? Wow, I got some years old. He's sitting next to me. And so 7 years, and he just took a risk, and it was a huge risk. Think about leaving your benefits, your employment, you're an educator, you got a football team that you're coaching at somebody else's job. But I'll say this: it's legacy versus loyalty. Are you going to be loyal to your employer, or are you going to go and build your own legacy? And we decided it was time for him to build his own legacy. In fact, he just came home and told me he would resign. I said, well, we're going to talk about it. He said, no, it's time. And it was time. It took us 3 years to open that school, and we opened it with 17 children, 17 school kids. And now we have a waiting list and over 100 kids, and we're just expanding across the U.S. And so that's been an amazing journey. We just had not our first graduating class, but we had our largest graduating class earlier this year. And it was just, let me tell you, when you can teach kids about manifestation and affirming and praying, like we don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance. And so we want kids to know what we didn't get when we were younger. When you know better, you do better. Right. So you walk into our school, you got affirmations everywhere. It's not a corner or a wall that you can't see something positive. Growing up, I was put out of school a lot. I remember going from one school to the next, and I don't know if you know what a referral is, but I had over 100 referrals in the school system. That's where I would get suspended or put out of school. It was a lot. It was excessive. And it was so bad that the principal at the time, when I transferred to my third high school, said, why should we let you into the school, Miss Hibbert? And I said, because I need an opportunity and I know I can change. And she gave me that chance. And that's when my life turned around in the 10th grade. I was bad, y'all. It was terrible. And I remember those days, and they would just put us out of school. Like there was no rehab. There was no, she needs therapy. And so now, like you come in our school, you have a meditation room. We're not just throwing kids out. We're having them to go in there and reset. Maybe their parents had an argument that morning or the night before. Maybe they're being raised by single parents. Maybe they're from low income households. See, we take our kids on experiences. Our kids have flown to DC on a nice plane, leather seats, stayed in 5-star hotels. See, we want our kids to know about excellence. And I'll tell you this, those very same kids they had never left the county that I live in. So to take them to see the African American Museum, and that was in the height of the time where you had to wait 6 months. Well, thank God we have Congressman woman Frederica Wilson, who was able to help us get tickets in less than 30 days. Because now those kids understand culture. They understand where they are from. They understand their backgrounds. They understand what college looks like because we was able to go to Howard University. They understand what a 5-star hotel looks like. And some of them even said, man, we run track, but we stay, Motel 8s. Like we've never stayed in nothing like this. And so our job is to make sure our kids get experiences and they learn through experiences. It's one thing to sit in the classroom, but it's a whole nother thing to take your classroom experiences and really apply them. Like our kids have been to, what's the place where we made the money? Where they make the money here? The Federal Reserve. They get to see the money actually being printed. Now, what do you think about that? What were your thoughts? Like, what are your goals? And so that's just a little bit about our school. We go from K to 12. And we do take scholarships. And so that's it. I mean, we have a sports component and we also have an education component.
Wow.
That was a lot, huh?
No,
that was good.
It's good.
I get excited to start talking about the school.
No, look, basically we tell you you're passionate about it, and I love how you said that instead of, it's almost like you all are taking a different approach to discipline. You have the meditation room because you never know what kids experience. Like you say, the parents probably got into it. They might be going through whatever it is. So, and that takes a toll on kids. So I love that approach. One last thing I do want to
I want to share this with you. I was with my husband at home and a parent called like at 10 o'clock at night. and she was in tears. She said, I didn't think he was reading. I thought he was just like just listening to something and restating it. And she realized her son that came to us that could not read in the third or fourth grade, right? Third or fourth grade, now is reading at grade level or maybe one grade ahead, which is a huge deal. And I remember that parent being in tears saying, I can't believe that he can read. Like,
Wow.
that's a big deal, y'all. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just taking our, like, Black Lives Matter got big, and we just said, you know what? We're going to take this in our own hands. We're going to open up a school,
Yes.
and we're going to help our kids be successful Black boys. And in our school is not, it's primarily African American. We do have some Spanish and Latin and, other cultures there, but it's primarily African Americans from lower income backgrounds. And it just, that's fulfilling. It's just fulfilling. It's not even about the money you make. It's about seeing the impact that we're making to children.
Right.
Mhm.
I love it. And then that word you said, impact. Like that's, that's what really, like I said, we can tell you're passionate about what you do and the impact that you are making on the kids. So it's a beautiful thing. But then, and I want to ask you, like I said, before we get ready to wrap up, I just want to ask you, like, overall about the entrepreneurship journey, because it's definitely not easy and it's not for everyone. Like I tell people, like, entrepreneurship is really glorified on social media when it comes to owning a business and being a boss, as everybody like to say. But it's like it's more to it than what people see. So how have you been able to stay, and you and your husband both, like, really just been able to stay motivated to continue on this journey throughout all these years?
Let me tell you something. When you have good people in your corner, I remember going to EXP Realty and asking my husband, I was like, what if I don't get anybody to join me? And he was like, Claudienne, you built a team before, you can do it again. And so when you have people around you like that, that's constantly pouring into you, and see, my I always say my husband is like the left to my right or the calm to my fire, right? Because we both have different personalities, but we both get it done. And so I get to be surrounded by someone every day who, I don't care what is going on. He could be driving in the middle of the street. If it's 12 o'clock, he pulling over and he doing his meditation. Like, if commitment and dedication had a picture, his picture would be in the dictionary. Okay. So just having that aspect, and I'm just be transparent. My husband didn't have a lot of money when I met him, and it wasn't really about the money. He was able to bring something to the table that I did not have. And so, talk about alignment again, talk about alignment again. And so just having people who are around you, always just being, and it doesn't mean that we're perfect and we don't have disagreements and, everything's just peaches and creams. No, but we understand the love, and it's not just my husband, it's the other people around me as well. And people who want to see you grow. You need to be around people who want to see you grow. You need a lot of different people, not three levels of people. The people just, and I don't mean this in a bad way, you need the people who are aiming to get where you are. You need, because they're gonna cheer you on, they're excited. And you
Mhm.
need these people who are right where you are.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. And then you need the people above where you are so that you have something to go to. And
Mhm.
when that happens, let me tell you, magic happens. Those people have a general interest in you, and you have a general interest in them. And so that's my theory.
Yeah.
Wow. That was some really good advice. Just with me being in college, knowing to have those different levels of people in your life, I feel like that is really important. So that was one takeaway that I'm for sure going to take from what you said today. But before we close out, could you tell everyone like your social media, how we can, get connected with you, and also if you have any last pieces of advice that you want to share with us today?
So I'm typing it. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to actually type it here too.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you can have it. All right, perfect. Did you get that?
Let's see.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't get it. Did you
no.
Chat.
type it in the comments?
All right. So maybe I'm not an expert yet at StreamYard. So my social media, my first and last name, Claudienne Hibbert. That's ClaudienneHibbert, and that's across all social media handles. Um, That's where you can find me. You can connect with me there. My cell number is there. There is a way to get to me there. I forgot the last question you asked me.
I was just saying, like, if you had any last minute words of advice that you wanted to give.
You know, when you think that things are not going well, just know, and the Bible talks about this too, just know that you got to get through some stuff to get to your greatness. You don't look at challenges as failure, look at them as a stepping stone to where you are going and where you're about to go, and where you need your goals are. And so a lot of times, you know, my friends will say, Claudienne, we're not calling you because you're not compassionate. Because I get excited. When they call me with triumphs, I get excited. I say, you should be excited because this means that you're just that much closer to your greatness. You're that much closer to your goals because that's the formula, right? It's always going to be, I say it's greener wherever you water it. And if you're watering somebody's grass or your own grass, then it's going to be green. And so don't get depressed. Don't stop. Keep going. Do I always feel jittery? No, sometimes I don't. But I take a moment. I release the tears. I release the frustration. I don't stay in the space though. I go and move forward. And so I'm gonna instruct you to do the same thing. And we're emotional beings. It's okay to be a little down sometimes, but just don't stay in the space. Learn the lesson. And I'll do this. I was like, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn right now? I learned the lesson and then I pick up and I keep going. So don't give up. Keep going. You're great. And don't let anybody else. If I would have listened to the people coming up, as I was having my son at the age of 14, I might be in jail. I might have not made it. But you know what? Self talk. Get up every morning. Say your affirmations. Talk to yourself. You come in my bathroom, I write on my mirror. I got to go brush my teeth, so I got to see it every day. Right?
Mhm.
And I can't make that up. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself how great you are. I don't wait for people to celebrate me. I celebrate myself.
Mm, that's big. That's
Yeah.
a big one there. I love that. Those positive affirmations. That's huge. But yeah, no, this was good. I enjoy speaking with you. I know you're Mara. Anything else you want to add? Yeah.
No, there's nothing else I want to add. I just want to say thank you for your time today. And I just wish nothing but like continuous success with your business, family, and everything. And I just hope you have a great day as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go have lunch now for